best value.
Welcome in to We Talk Facts with 9-year NBA veteran and Nebraska basketball Hall of Famer Eric Strickland and two-time Nebraska football national champion Clester Johnson. Talking and taking names in sports and day-to-day living. Sit back, relax, and join the show with 9-year NBA vet and Nebraska basketball Hall of Famer Eric Strickland and two-time Nebraska football national champion Clester Johnson.
Welcome to You Talk Facts. Strick here. My partner is coming on as well onto the live stream, Clester Johnson. It is WTF We Talk Facts. It is another Tuesday. On my bad. It's another Thursday.
Thursday, Strick. Come on now.
Thursday. How could I forget Thursday? My goodness. Sibo, man, welcome to the show. Harrison Arms is on the ones and twos. It is great to be here with you guys, as always, on We Talk Facts today. Clester Johnson, how are you, my friend?
Feeling good. Weather's good. Hey, another day, another time I get to hang out with my fellas. Let's do it.
Yes, sir. Harrison, what's going on back there in Lincoln? How are you, my guy?
We're smiling in Lincoln. We got our first road game, Strick. The Hoops team got it done. You saw it. Massive jump. Net rankings, KenPom rankings, whatever you want to look at. But yeah, things are going good here. Not just for the basketball program, but you look at the track team. Things are up in Lincoln. It's a good time.
Shout out to the Nebraska Cornhuskers who get it done by 15 on the road. It looks shaky. If you're a fan of the show called Wilding Out, there's a Wilding Out show that Nick Cannon has, and there's a part on there where there's a guy that does a skit with a referee jersey on, and he brings the two comedians together, and he says, "Rada-root." And whenever they say something funny or really not funny, but kind of on the fringe, he says, shaky. Very shaky for what the Huskers have done on the road. It looked very reminiscent of a Minnesota game early on. But what that goes to tell you and what it goes to show you is that there was resilience. There was a fight in them. There was lessons that were learned, and they came through in the end and preserved the win on the road. Their first Big Ten win. Cless, what's your initial thoughts on what you saw and how you felt about the game from beginning to end?
I like the fact that they swept them. Okay. Indiana is one of those programs that, they kind of lost some of their luster since since Coach, why am I losing his name?
Knight.
Since Coach Knight has, they were considered kind of like a blue blood.
Blue blood, yeah.
They're still blue blood. They're still blue blood.
Do you think they still consider blue blood? You think?
Yeah.
I think is Nebraska football blue blood?
Yeah. Okay. All right, Harrison. You win.
Hey, Harrison, talk your facts. Harrison.
Listen, I'm not gonna say my alma mater is not a blue blood. They are definitely a blue blood. But like you said, on the road, it does not matter to me if it's shaky or not, because sometimes you got to win ugly. And yes, that was an ugly game, but a 15-point ugly win, I'll take that all day.
Yeah,
I'll take that all day. I think it's a great confidence booster, especially going into the Big Ten tournament. And I know I'm jumping ahead of the story, but hopefully this is the year where we win one, huh? Can we get one in the tournament, E?
Well, and that's why I think it was so important. This next stretch, Clester, when you're talking about the Indiana Hoosiers program, not Indiana Hoosiers, but the Nebraska Cornhusker program, this next stretch is going to tell you a lot about what you've seen in the beginning, the lessons that were learned. This is just one test that they had to show the lessons and the growth of the program from what happened in Minnesota earlier in the Big Ten season. They could have easily faltered. I mean, you talk about like a 26 to to 5 or 8 run over
Yeah.
the course of a long stretch of the second half. And you're talking about this team got down, or Indiana closed the gap to only 3.
Yeah.
Closed the gap. And it looked bad all across the board. But what's crazy about this Husker team is that a guy that had been struggling all year, a guy that had been going through huge, roller coaster rides of emotions and feelings in Jamarcus Lawrence, he's the one that shows up for you that night.
Yeah.
I mean, his numbers were 6 for 8, 5 for 5 from 3, tied for the lead in rebounds, led the team in assists, and only had 1 turnover, and came off the bench with only 23 minutes. So it seems to me that role is helping to kind of just ease him and give him a little bit more peace, take a little bit of pressure off of him. And he came in when they needed him, because it was some big shots he hit, a couple threes, one on the wing, great pass down low to Juwan Gary for the finish. And then the defense got active. They didn't lose in the rebounding measures, didn't have Rink Mash show up. So there was a lot of things that happened in this game that it could have got ugly for them, but they didn't wilt. The fans got back into it. They didn't give up. And the next thing you know, bam.
I'll say this. Obviously, you got to give the coaches some of the credit for that, because when a player has kind of have an up and down season, that means they hadn't given up on him. They've consistently stayed in his ear and said, hey, listen, your moment is coming. Mm-hmm. There's nothing better than hearing a coach say that to you, that says, you know what, we got confidence in you at some point in time. And you know how it is as a basketball player. You have those times where you have a slump, and it's just for one reason or another, you just go through that period of time. But Eric, with you were multifaceted. You had some other things you could focus on, like on the defensive end that, you did some other things, some assists. You did some other things that really kind of showed the team that you were an asset in other areas. But sometimes if you're just a scorer and that's really what you bring to the table, sometimes you just got to be patient. You got to be patient. And it seemed like that happened.
Listen, their resume is starting to become quite phenomenal. Harrison, where did they show up as of late in the KenPom? I know they were at 48, 49. Did they get a boost out of this, or has it not yet come out, the new rankings?
I want to say if they got all the way up to in the 38 right now. Let me double check when that was up. That was updated on February 21st, though. So we'll still have to kind of wait on that.
Yeah, and so what they have left, one thing that I said, here's what's crazy about what's going on, and then we'll shift and go into more topics regarding NCAA basketball. But what's crazy about what's happening right now, class, is after everything they've endured, everything they've gone, one, they don't get enough credit, class. They don't get enough credit. And what I mean by that, to go 15-0 in the Big Ten at home, they're not getting enough credit. We've been focused. We've been looking at the fact that they've been on the road. They can't get it done. But we've also missed the fact that they went 15-0. Oh, no, I'm talking Big Ten. Only the one loss is to Creighton. And we're going to talk about that next. But I think they deserve a little bit more credit at what they've been able to do in their resume bill. And now they're only 2 games out of second place in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I think that Coach Hoiberg, you got to give it up to him. I think that there was rumblings about him being on a hot seat, but I tell you what, the best way to shut everybody up is to win, right? You just got to win. You got to get in there. You got to practice. You got to focus. You got to look at films. You got to motivate. You got to talk to your captains. You got to talk to your leaders, and you got to inspire. You got to inspire. And, props to the fans. Like when I went to that Wisconsin game, I mean, they made it really hard for the opposing team to come and play there. Like, yeah. I mean, that crowd, it was deafening. And you could tell that really energized them throughout the whole year. And I would say Nebraska became one of the toughest places to play. I mean, probably in the country. I mean, if you think about it,
it's tough.
It's tough. It was good. It was a great year for them.
No doubt about it. Let's also, in the shift of the focus of the topic, and we're staying in NCAA basketball right now. Something special happened this year, class, that hasn't happened in the state of Nebraska, period, in a long time. And that in the same year, the two prominent Nebraska programs beat number one teams in the country in the same year. Nebraska knocking off Purdue, and now the Creighton Blue Jays getting their shot. Now what's crazy is, Purdue ends up, and we're going to talk about the number one seeds and the potentials of that and March Madness on the way. But the craziness is this. It was a tough battle in that UConn had records going against them, in that out of 21 games against ranked opponents, they haven't won. So that's one thing that they're fighting against coming in as a number one team.
Yeah.
Creighton looked as if, the matchup, and you was looking at the big matchup between Kalkbrenner and Klingon, and they shot the lights out of the ball. It looked like the game against Nebraska, the way that they played UConn. They shot the lights out of the ball. And doggone, UConn didn't have an answer for what was going on up there at CHI Arena.
Well, I'm going to say credit to the defense. I mean, when I looked at Creighton and the way they play defense, I mean, they were locking UConn down pretty good. I mean, they made a lot of their shots very tough, and they made UConn look a little pedestrian.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, Clutch, because UConn's been looking like man amongst boys.
Yes.
Like they've been looking they walking in with their shoulders, swagging and beating and breaking you down. So you're right.
Yeah, I thought that they looked Creighton, I feel, looks like they could be ready to make a run again. That's what they look like to me. I mean, if they can play that way against that kind of team, because when you look across the country, you don't have an unbeatable. You don't have that team. Like, I think we were kind of looking at UConn that way for a second, but now Creighton made them look like, hey, listen, there's chinks in your armor. Like this. That's what we saw. So anyway, really in the NCAA tournament, it really just comes down to matchups, where you're going to be in the country. And I thought Creighton had a really good draw last year. Let's see what happens this year, because if they get put in the right situation, I think they'll have an opportunity to make a run, because they got an inside, they got outside, they got mid-range. I mean, they got a lot going for them.
Yes, man. Listen, March Madness is on the way. A team has snuck up and popped their head out like a whack-a-mole and popped into the number one seeds, and that is the Arizona Wildcats, finding themselves going to be right now, as it stands, barring anything crazy happens out there, they're looking right now as if they're going to possibly be the number one seed out in the West. Obviously, things can change. They've gone 7-1 since they lost to Washington State, which wasn't a great loss for them, but they're favored in the Pac-12, and if they continue to make this run, that could possibly be the case. Watch out, though, because teams like North Carolina are looming. Have been playing great under my former teammate Hubert Davis. You always got Kansas there. You had a couple of slip-ups. They've got a couple tough matchups left with Marquette, and then also Tennessee. And watch out, Alabama is kind of doing something. They made a turn, and we're going to talk about a little bit about the local talent that has been balling and playing out of control as of late. We're going to get to that later on in the show. But right now, it looks as if Purdue's going to head up in the West. Houston will head up in the South. In the Midwest. Houston in the South, Arizona in the West, and UConn in the East. Who do you think at this point has the potential to be the overall number one with things left. Here's what we got. I think Purdue still has a pretty tough run at it. They've got some tough games still ahead of them. I think they still have to play Illinois, and they still have to play Wisconsin one more time. Houston, one of the toughest conferences in the country out of the Big 12. And we know how it is when you go on the road. Anything can happen because we've seen that over the course of this season. Very tough to win on the road these days. You got Arizona, that is obviously easy to get popped at any given moment down there as well. And then UConn playing in a tough conference, and they struggle on the road. So here you go. That's what we have left in front of us.
I'm gonna tell you who's going to be. I'm gonna tell you who's going to be the overall number one, and then I would love to hear Harrison what you have to say about this. Very knowledgeable gentleman we have on our show, but it's going to come down to, Eric, how each one of these top 4 teams play in their conference. Okay, if UConn, Houston, Purdue, or Arizona look very, very, very good in their tournaments, they're going to have a shot to be number one. And obviously, the less the wins you have, like UConn, Houston, Purdue all only have 3 losses overall. I think the number one is going to come out of those 3, honestly. And whoever wins their tournament and in dominant fashion, I think will get the overall number 1 seed. Harrison, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm actually right with you, Cluster. You look at where it's at right now. UConn 24-3, Purdue 23-3, 23-3. The quad 1, quad 2. Everyone's pretty much got 3 losses. Quad 1, undefeated after that. Quad 2 and on. It's going to come down to these conference tournaments. It's so close right now, and it's kind of one of those feelings. At one point, I would have said Purdue, but they're not peaking right now. Even a lot of these teams where they just had a bad loss to Ohio State. So whichever one of these teams is kind of humming in true form, much like Nebraska is, even though they don't got a shot to be a number 1. You look at Nebraska, they're playing really good basketball. Whoever's having that stretch when it gets to these conference tournaments, with the way these records lay right now, that's going to decide who gets that true 1 overall seed.
Well, here's what's crazy. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, when you looked at UConn last year, that's kind of when they start to peak. So I think what we want to look at, guys, is who are those teams like right now that's starting to get hot?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's these teams, they just start to get hot, and then it just kind of carries over into the tournament. That's what happened to UConn last year. I remember watching them, and they just start to look unbeatable. And I want to say they beat pretty much everybody almost by 20 points in the tournament last year. If I can remember, they were slaughtering teams last year.
Well, right now, as we look at things, Purdue is on the way playing at home against Rutgers, and the game is off to a 25-21 start in the first half, with just about halfway through the first half. But here's the matchup. The test is going to come. Where's the revenge factor? Arizona gets tonight at 10 p.m. on FS1. They're going to get an opportunity to get revenge on Washington State as they come into Tucson to face them. I think you just got to kind of go down the everything and look at the matchups that are coming down the pipeline over the next week or so as they prepare to go into their conference tournaments. Who has the toughest looks? Who has the toughest schedules? It's going to show who's got the greatest mettle to hold on and fight it out. But I also would have to agree with you that it's going to come down to this. Let's shift back to the Nebraska situation. Nebraska has the easiest, I think, outside of Wisconsin. They have one of the easiest methods. Wisconsin still has, I think, one more, but Northwestern. So it's Northwestern and Nebraska have some pretty easy looks down the stretch. They got to get revenge. They should have that on their mind as Minnesota comes in. And then, you got to go back on the road, and you got to go and be road warriors once again. You've got 2 more opportunities on the road. I think if they run 3-2, Nebraska has a chance, a minimum of 3-2, 4-1. I think 4-1 gets Nebraska into the 4th slot for the double bye. Is that important to you guys? Do you think that's important, the double bye, or just to show improvement on last year where you've constantly, over the Hoiberg era, you've constantly found yourself in the 10-14 slot where you're playing on that first night and you have to run the gamut of 5 games? do you think just getting the 1 day bye and getting into that upper mid tier, or getting that double bye would just be something that would be an expectation that was unexpected, and it would take the program to another level?
I'll say this: you never know, when they have to seize the moment now. Okay, these type of years are just haven't been guaranteed with Nebraska, right? So if you got an opportunity to get a double bye, because I'm looking at this schedule and it's very, very doable. Minnesota, Ohio State, Rutgers, Michigan, they have a real opportunity to win all these games. And they do, even on the road. I mean, I know it's tougher on the road, but they have an opportunity to win. And if they can get a double bye, because next year, whatever happens next year is not going to be guaranteed. They are going to be the hunted, especially if they have quite a few people coming back. They will be the hunted. People will be expecting them to have a higher expectations. So right now, you got to seize the moment right now. You got to get busy right now, baby. Get busy.
Harrison, before I let you chime in, we saw this before. This same opportunity existed. And I think, one thing that I can say is that we as a program, going even back to Cluster and I's time, we looked at each other. It was a way that we looked at each other as inspiration. You know what I mean? So like when the football team at one point was, taking losses and taking lumps and wasn't able to get over the hump, there was periods where I think they probably looked at us and the way that we were progressing and the things that we were doing and the wins against Kansas and the likes of them. And they were looking at us as like a propel of inspiration, because the football team was in this same predicament where they literally had it right in their hands as an opportunity, as you said, and they didn't seize the opportunity. Yes, we have a lot of dynamics with the quarterback situation, all this stuff happening, but it still was right in their grasp, and they didn't seize that moment. So what do you say? Nebraska has it in their grasp. Should they need to seize it right now and not worry about it? Because kids today, y'all, Kless, Harrison, kids today think, they be like, you know what? We got next year. We all coming back. We gonna do it next year. Man, shoot, bump what everybody's saying. We gonna beat him next year. Bump next year is right now.
Right now.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, look at what the Husker volleyball team did this year. They're pretty much all those guys coming back. They didn't say next year. No, they got all the way to the damn championship game, and that's the same attitude. I mean, you said it. They control their destiny. Don't leave it up to chance. You don't want to be sweating it out on Selection Sunday, especially if you look at how Nebraska's done in the Big Ten tournament in past. I know this is a better team, but you just don't want to be sweating that day out. And where they're at right now, yes, they're easier games, but they're also not going to be great wins. So you totally control your destiny. You have to, like you said, at least get 3 of these. 4 would be great. But these losses are going to hurt you more than a win's going to help you. So you got to take care of business. When you get to the Big Ten tournament, you'd want to be looking at that as we need wins to make sure that when we get to Selection Sunday, we're not sitting there just sweating it out. So I think they've kind of gotten that. It was a good, you win by 15 points. You get your first road win. So I think that's clicking with them. But I'm with you guys. You can't take it for granted. You want to get that double bye.
Yeah, and here's why it's important. Because ultimately matchups and seeding is huge. The more, if you can pull off a 4-1, 3-2 and get 2 in the tournament, get to the semis in the tournament, you could be looking at a possible 5 seed, 4 seed. Now you can be thinking about matchups as a good favorable matchup for you.
I mean, I like how you're thinking, E. But 5 seed, oh man, that not sure about that one. But listen,
they're sitting at 10 or 9 right now, now.
Yeah. No doubt. I would like to see Nebraska. Listen, I think what would really help them is to close the season out on a high note. Like you said, 3-2 is realistic. 4-1 is. I just think it gives them tons of confidence. going into the tournament. I think if they win 4 games, they're going to get an automatic bid if they don't, do much in the tournament. That'll probably put them at about 23 wins, probably 22.
If they go 4-1, they got 22.
Yeah, 22 wins. That in a Power 5 conference, I mean that gets you into the tournament for sure. I think so. And they got a number 1 win. They got a win against Wisconsin. They got a win against Michigan State. I mean, they got some really good wins.
All right. Well, there it is. We're going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit about what's your favorite place. Where, when you're watching these type of games that went on with Creighton and Nebraska and some of your best games, the Super Bowl, whatever the game is for you, where do you like to watch it? In the confines of your own home, or do you like to go and toast one up at a bar somewhere? We're going to talk about those different dynamics when we come back right here on We Talk Facts.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through February 25th, enjoy USDA Choice New York strips for just $5.88 per 8-ounce cut, fresh pork belly for $2.99 per pound, and for ticket listeners only, snow crab clusters for $8.99 per pound. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit OakStreetCarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
Oak Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Empower a life today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Change is only a conversation away when you choose to share your wisdom, time, and heart with a young mind. Together, we can craft a brighter future, one child at a time. Ignite a spark of hope and be someone's guiding light. Find out more about becoming a mentor by visiting teammates.org. Become a beacon of change by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Introducing The Outlet by Sartor Heyman. The Outlet brings you luxurious Sartor Heyman quality jewelry at unbeatable prices. Shop our expansive inventory of overstocked merchandise and a vast estate collection that just hasn't found its home yet. This is your chance to own stunning designer jewelry at a fraction of the cost. Elevate your style at The Outlet by Sartor Heyman, where luxury and affordability meet. Downtown at 12th and O or online at sartorheyman.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the pursuit of justice for those that have been injured. My name is Eric Hagan, attorney with Liberty Law Group. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, call 877-42-LIBERTY. Our detail-oriented trial attorneys are committed to the highest quality legal representation. At Liberty Law Group, we will fight for you. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Once again, that's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Hog Wild's giant stuffed baked potatoes are anything but basic and really hit the spot when you're craving a little comfort food. Nothing is more satisfying than a Hog Wild baked potato loaded with butter, sour cream, cheddar cheese, bacon bits, and chives. Add your choice of a Hog Wild house smoked meat like pulled pork, chicken, or brisket for a little extra. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Back to We Talk Facts on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Strick and Clester.
Thank you for your joining us on We Talk Facts. He's Strick, Clester Johnson, as well as Harrison Arns. Every Thursday right here, 6 to 7 is where you can find us on all streaming platforms, to include Allo Channel 961. Sutter Heyman text line is always open to you. We did have a text from the text line. I will share that before we get into the next topic. But that number for you guys to chime in is 402-464-5685 if you want to join into the conversation. Shout out to unnamed texter 0555 who did make this known to me. It's something we did share on the block, but we're definitely going to share it because we talk facts. We're going to talk about these facts that were presented because I don't have the exact number, but over the stretch, I believe from February 11th of last year, I think it was February 11th. I could be wrong.
First 2023, February 1st, 2023.
February 1st of 2023, the University of Nebraska finds itself only second to the University of Purdue as far as win percentage in the Big Ten. They've been better than all the other teams over that stretch, over that period. Second to only Purdue in win percentage. That's a crazy stat, but that is a fact. And I know a lot of people may not know that. Thank you for letting us know that we can share that information here.
That's what this show is all about, right? We talk facts, right?
We talk facts. We talk facts. But here's something I want to know your facts. 402-464-5685. There's a place where everybody feels good, feels comfortable. You either like to get around your friends, you got to be around your boys, you like to be in the spot, you even like to maybe be in the game. You like to be in present. I can tell you personally this. Whenever I go to a hockey game, I don't like to watch it on TV. I prefer to be in the arena to watch the game. Probably soccer the same way. There's a few places that I'd like to be in the arena. Football games, because it's so hectic and all the parking and all the extra stuff of trying to get into the stadium, I prefer to sit in my living room and watch it on the couch. But we would love to hear from you on that. But let's talk about it, because where is it that you feel good, you feel comfortable? Do you like to be at home where you can just go in your kitchen, get your, mix up a turkey bake or whatever? What's that thing you cook, Class? Class cooked this phenomenal, some type of bake that I ended up going nuts and ham on that I can't cook myself, but I love it when I'm at his house.
Taco bake.
Taco bake. That's what it is.
I was thinking of some cuisine and then just, okay.
Taco bake.
I like to break it down like this here, E. because this is a very intriguing question. Sometimes, okay, obviously Super Bowl, you want to be at home with a bunch of people. We know these Super Bowl tickets are, $20,000 for the nose.
$2 million for a suite.
$2 million for a suite. Football games, I like to agree with you. Unless I have someone playing, I like to be in the stadium watching the game. If I have a vested interest in somebody, I like to be there. Now, if I'm at home, ain't nothing like football Saturday, because you can flick. You can have multiple TVs. You can have your screen on 2, 3, 4 different games.
That's a fact.
I'm not really big on betting, but I got a lot of buddies. They got parlays after parlay after parlay going on, right?
Yeah.
Volleyball. Oh, man, listen. Volleyball games in Nebraska have become premium, right? Man, it's been nearly impossible for me to get to a volleyball game, but I can only imagine, because watching it on TV is really exciting.
Yeah, exciting.
Man, think about being in the stadium. I just know it's crazy there, right? Basketball games, they're not as exciting watching them on TV as they are being in the stadium. When I went to that Nebraska game, I've been to many Creighton games. I just couldn't believe if you have fans that have a vested interest in that team, there's nothing like being at the game. But I could keep going. We'll pause. I'm a give an assist over and pass it to Harrison. Let's talk about you, Harrison. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I might be a little scarred just because of how it's gone for Nebraska in recent years. This year's been great, but a lot of my experiences actually going to these atmospheres has been a lot of complaining around with the fans because the product just hasn't been great. So it kind of scarred me a little bit. Now, you'll catch me at home on my own couch watching a lot of the games, but I will say volleyball games, you got to be there in person. This year for basketball, you got to be there. When the team's good, it's hard to ever beat that environment. But when it comes to pro sports, you won't. I don't think I've ever sat down and really watched a full baseball game on TV. I got to be at that event live. There's plenty of those pro sports where I'd rather just sit back, watch it on TV, especially go to the NBA. Am I going to pay all this money, fly out to LA, go see the Los Angeles Lakers, and LeBron's taking a rest day? It's not fun. So I'd rather pro sports. I'll watch it on TV. If it's a good college atmosphere, I'm going to the arena every time if the opportunity is available.
Let me chime in really fast, Eden, and I'll listen. There's nothing like the Olympics, right? When I'm watching the Olympics, I love sitting at home and flicking through and watching all the different events. And then swimming. I can definitely sit and watch swimming on TV, especially during those Olympic times. I remember watching Michael Phelps during that time. It was so fascinating to watch him dominate. And then some of the
Gabby Douglas, watching her in gymnastics too. I agree.
Go ahead. E.
No. Go ahead. Finish.
Sometimes it has to do with the moment. So Olympics, me, I was a track runner, so I can watch track anytime on TV. There's nothing like watching the 100, the 200, the 400. I mean, these events are so fascinating. They're so fascinating. And that's probably track is probably one of those sports where women are pretty equal to men in fascination, right? Mm-hmm. When I watch a woman's basketball game versus a man's basketball game, you could tell there's not a lot of similarities going on. But when you watch track, triple jump, long jump, you see some of these ladies. I mean, so good. Those are those times where you go, you know what? They are special, because neither one of us could go run a 10-0 right now. We can't even run an 11-something right now.
10 times 2 for me.
Yeah. So but there's probably some sports I don't watch. I just kind of flick through, and that's probably like what's the one where they, I probably don't watch a lot of hockey. I probably don't watch a lot of
baseball,
lacrosse. Lacrosse is just not fascinating to me at all. When I watch it on TV, I wouldn't watch that probably at any time. But I'm gonna tell you what I would watch. That's been fascinating me. Has been curling.
Yeah,
curling.
I'm with you there.
Okay,
these ladies, they be screaming in the middle. Ah! They go crazy, and it's been getting me. I see a curling on TV, I stop and I watch it.
Yeah,
I'm with you. I'm
gonna let Harrison get in, but I'm gonna give two. There's one thing that I've been to that I was absolutely fascinated about. I can watch a little bit of it on TV, but when you're in the presence of this event, it is absolutely phenomenal. It's nothing like the power. It's nothing like, watching the fans really like get involved in, like they're serious fans. And that was F1, Formula One racing. When I went to the Formula One racing in Brussels, Belgium, to watch that, how those guys, you've got this crew that's with Verstappen, and then this crew with Leonard Hamilton, and then you've got this other crew with Saez, and they're all from different countries. And so all these countries are coming out and they're getting involved. Absolutely phenomenal.
I was going.
Go ahead.
A major golf tournament on a Sunday when Tiger Woods was playing.
When he was hot,
I bet you those ratings was through the roof. Now, don't get me wrong; they're still good. They're still good. When a major is on TV, I hope I didn't steal your thunder, Harrison.
Not at all.
But a golf major. Listen, during those times when Tiger Woods was on top of his game, he was bringing people to the TV that couldn't even spell golf, right? They were there to watch that. It was so fascinating. And still today, when I see a PGA tournament on a Sunday, it just how fascinating, how focused you have to be, and how the leaderboard can just all of a sudden just change. That's pretty fascinating stuff too. Golf.
The last one for me that I can watch in both, that the intensity of it is absolutely phenomenal, but there's nothing like being in the arena during a UFC fight. That thing is off the meat rack. It is off the chain to be in a premium UFC fight when some of the big stars, the energy and not only is outside the arena, inside the arena, the lines that go around the arena just to go into to get the souvenirs. It's absolutely crazy how that is. Harrison, before we go to break, go ahead, break it down.
Yeah, I mean, some of the ones, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but you guys ever seen the skeleton racing in the Olympics? If over some of those other Olympic, where it's just like the bobsled where they go down that massive ice. It's just a tube where you get high speeds, and they're just riding it one man on a sled, absolutely flying.
When he's leaning back, the one where they're leaning back, they're forward.
They're laying down flat like this with their chin just above the ice, and they are shooting down this massive thing. Normally, you see it with the bobsled and the four-man team. They have a skeleton. To me, that's just insanity. Also, UFC events. I don't know if you guys have ever watched any bare knuckle boxing. Those guys are just different animals. To me, that's just, I would never want to be there. Yeah, it's just insane to watch. UFC, bare knuckle is just a little crazy for me. And one from the text line.
Are you getting into the slap? Are you getting into the slap now?
I've been watching the slapping.
Slap is idiot. That's too dumb for me.
I've been watching this. I have been watching the slap, and it is intriguing. Would I ever do it? No. But boxing, I'm a huge. E knows I'm a huge boxing fan. I mean, I listen to this guy pretty regularly. It's it's my guilty pleasure. His name is Fanon Boxing. He's on every day. I don't get to watch him every day, but you would be shocked at the number of people around the country that talk boxing every single day. And they send this dude money because, he's debating with everybody. Everybody got these questions. and he loves to talk about Crawford. I mean, I'm sure Crawford hates Fanon because he's one of those antagonists. He's an antagonist, and he knows what he's doing. He's trying to get under your skin because he wants you to take these boxing messages. So anyway, love boxing.
Yeah, there it is. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about some of the local talent, those who have been balling, your Hunter Salases, your Baylor Shireman's, your Chucky Hepburns, guys that have went on to do it at a huge level on a national scale. Latrell Ricedale Jr. now with number 3 seed at this point, Alabama. He's making a huge impact for them. We're going to talk about them, and we're going to give just our thoughts, and we want to hear your thoughts, and we'll get to that text question when we come back that Harrison had as well. But we're going to talk about who do we think has the potential and maybe rate them of how we think they may get to the league. We'll come back right here. WTF, We Talk Facts.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Introducing The Outlet by Sartor Heyman. The Outlet brings you luxurious Sartor Heyman quality jewelry at unbeatable prices. Shop our expansive inventory of overstocked merchandise and a vast estate collection that just hasn't found its home yet. This is your chance to own stunning designer jewelry at a fraction of the cost. Elevate your style at The Outlet by Sartor Heyman, where luxury and affordability meet. Downtown at 12th and O or online at sartorheyman.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Hello, everybody. It's Charlie Stone, and here with me is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I hear that new Honda manufacturing continues to go up, and you have new Hondas in stock now.
That's correct, Charlie. We have more than 40 new Hondas in stock right now. It's great that a customer can come in and buy a new Honda and drive it home that day. New Honda inventory keeps getting better each month.
Okay, then. How about used cars, Andy?
We have more than 100 pre-owned vehicles to choose from right now, and a lot of fresh trade-ins are coming in daily. We have just about every maker model you can imagine in any price range.
Thanks again, Andy. People love the selection and great service at Honda of Lincoln. Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the pursuit of justice for those that have been injured. My name is Eric Hagan, attorney with Liberty Law Group. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, call 877-42-LIBERTY. Our detail-oriented trial attorneys are committed to the highest quality legal representation. At Liberty Law Group, we will fight for you. call 877-42-LIBERTY. Once again, that's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. Back to We Talk Facts on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Strick and Clester.
Back for the final segment of We Talk Facts. The fellas, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the local talent that has been balling out of control. We're going to start with William Kyle out of Bellevue West, out there at South Dakota State, getting it in, balling. Frankie Fiddler at Omaha, Hunter Salas out there at Wake Forest, Trelly, Latrell Wrightsell Jr. out there in Alabama getting busy. St. Thomas, I can't remember where Saint's at, but I know he transferred. Harris, where does Saint end up? St. Thomas.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it right now. Well, I'll let you know.
Yeah, you fill me in on that. Chucky Hepburn obviously is out there.
I think Saint is at Northern Colorado.
No, that's it. That's exactly right. He's at Northern Colorado.
Yep.
But he's balling. Like he's balling like right now.
Yeah, I think he's averaging 18 to 20, somewhere in that range.
Yeah. So when we look at a local talent, I mean, a lot of people, they look around and they say, there ain't no talent in Nebraska. I beg to differ. These young men are a special breed. They're doing wonderful things for their respective teams. In instances, leading their team, Chucky leading point guard for one of the top, teams in the Big Ten. Trelly comes off the bench, 6-man there at Alabama doing his thing. Hunter is balling out of control in the ACC. And then Saint at Northern Colorado getting it done. And William Kyle is up there catching bodies. And I'm not talking about the negative connotation of bodies. I'm talking about putting people in the rim up there at South Dakota State. So I'm gonna do this real quick. I want you guys to just give your thoughts. 402-464-5685. Out of that group of that Nebraska talent that's right now, who do you believe has, from a, you can rank them from a standpoint to make their mark and going to the league, getting drafted, maybe not getting drafted, but still getting into the league and having an impact there?
I'm going to say this, E. I know we talked about the transfer portal all year, so that's the theme, okay? Hunter Salas left Gonzaga, went to Wake Forest, ended up being a lot better situation. St. Thomas was in Loyola in Chicago, left, went to Trelly, left.
Fulton, Kelsey
Fulton, went to Alabama. I'm telling you, it was necessary for them to do that, to be able to shine like that. So to me, that shows the power of the portal if done right. Because sometimes you can make a wrong decision. You can say that you thought this might have been the spot, but it ended up not being the right fit. And I think when you look at Hunter Salas, man, that is who I thought he would be. What he's doing at Wake Forest is who I thought he could potentially be. But when he was at Gonzaga, it was almost like he was a shell of himself for a couple of years. He just played very robotic. I thought he played very somewhat timid. And sometimes the messaging from the coach don't always resonate, even though this guy is a legend.
Baylor Sherman's one too, Kless. You didn't throw him in there.
I forgot about him.
Yeah, coming in, going to
South Dakota State down to So but you got Chucky. He's been in Wisconsin doing well. Frankie has had, I think he's had opportunities to leave UNO, but he's made that his home. He's chose not to leave. And who else?
William Kyle.
William Kyle. Now
he may leave. It's possible
the jury's still out.
Leave.
I was saying the jury's still out on William because
yeah.
he's shown that he can dominate in that conference. He's been a highlight reel since he's been up there. And so how I would rank them right now, I put Hunter and Shireman. I put them up there. Saint, he's in a smaller conference, but sometimes that doesn't matter. It really depends on how they do in their performance when the pro scouts are there or when they go work out for pro scouts, because I feel like they're all going to get an opportunity. Chucky has great leadership. Obviously, we'd like to see him be his shooting percentage go up a little bit, but you cannot question his leadership and his defense. So those are the guys right now I think have the real potential. I think Trelly has maybe another couple of years. So he could be on the rise because he's going to get used to the SEC. I think he's just going to get more comfortable.
Well, I'll leave it at this. I think the key is also when they leave and whatnot. I think if Hunter tries to leave now, I don't think he gets drafted as high as he probably could if he shines one more year. I mean, I love the way that he also can play defense. He can actually be a great 3-and-D guy in the league because of that. But I really do believe that he probably, if he stays one more year, he can go from probably a second-round pick to a first. Now, he could be a late first. Just depends on the need of the team as well. He could be a project. So there's some things I think there. I think Chucky has a tremendous opportunity as a lead type of guard. But you're right. I think his shooting percentages need to go up. And everybody else, I think, will get an opportunity at some form for some opportunity throughout their chance in the as they finish. But we'll see where it goes.
Yep, and we got to get out of here, guys. Cluster or Strick, get us out of here.
We're gonna head out. WTF, We Talk Facts. We always thank you guys for your continued support of the show. We'll see you guys next week right here, 6 to 7. Peace.
Fast speeds. Our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance.